Hey viewers, and today we're going to be doing the logo for habits. We're going to keep it really simple, and then we're going to make it into a component and we're going to test it out in different sizes. My name is Roy, I'm a web designer, and let's get into the video. We got some to-dos here. Again, keywords, the shape, font, color, components, and then keywords just to type it out that represent habits. It's going to be, well, can't visually, so I'm thinking of a tick, and I'm also thinking of a star. These are just some keywords to help me visualize the type of icon we're going to go for, and I think this is quite a good exercise. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to the shape and let's put a star in, and also we're going to create a tick, so P for pen tool, and we're just going to hold shift down so it always keeps at 45-degree angle. Just tick there and then there. So now we have a basic tick. Let's give it 8 pixels and give it the same, well actually don't give it the same. So now we have some very basic keywords and the shapes that we want to represent the brand or the icon. So I'm trying to think, how can I actually combine these? And so you can already kind of see that it would be a nice way to fit a tick inside the star. You can already kind of see how that might work. So what we're going to do is we are going to actually create a star from scratch, and the way to do that is you go into the polygon, click on there, we're going to give it 5 points, and we're going to zoom in, and then what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in again just so we can see the grid, and zoom in again. I'm at 800. So go to the pen tool, I'm going to start here, and I'm just going to draw. That's the other thing, I'm not being totally accurate, so hit the P, I'm going right there, and I'm just going to go to all the edges. Don't worry if this is, sometimes it doesn't snap perfectly. There we go. There we go. There we go. Then now you just connect up all the points, and this is just really quick and simple. And now you have, did I do that correctly? And now you have a star, right? That is pretty sweet in Figma. So we have a star. How can we then make a tick from a star shape? So there's so many ways of doing this, right? But this technique is pretty nice. I'm just going to select all of that, group it, and it's nice to show the progression. So I'm going to copy and paste, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a copy of that. And I don't know, when I paste it, it doesn't do it in the exact same position, so I'll just nudge it up so it's on top. And then what I'm going to do here is start deleting some shapes. So I'm actually going to make this red border just to know which ones I'm deleting. And another thing to point out is where I see a tick is, you can start playing around, right? But the way I can see a tick, you can kind of see a tick. The challenge is to use the shape, so you can kind of see a tick there. So you got, so for example, if I go back to the pen tool, escape, go in, click on there, go to the pen tool, click on that point there, and then go right there. Now you can see there's a tick here. which I think is pretty sweet. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just start taking away what I don't want. So I'm going to just label that as a tick, and then I'm going to start getting rid of stuff that I don't want, and that should be a stroke of red. Okay, so here all you have to do, well, go into the actual vector, hit that, and then select the ones you don't want. So I don't want that line, neither that line, all these lines. Oh, actually this is not going to work now, so if I delete that, okay, if I delete that one, delete that one, okay, so I'm going, selecting that, delete. Okay, so that is not going to work. We'll get there in a minute. This one I don't want. This one I don't want. That one in the middle I don't want. This one neither. Now, can I delete that one? Perfect. Okay. So now you can see the outline of the tick within a star. Well, it's not perfectly in a star, but the nice thing is it's using the shape of the star, and I think that's pretty nice. So again, this is not exactly like the Nike swoosh, but we're using nice geometric shapes, and what I'm going to do is just copy this. So now we've just made a very simple tick, and you can imagine there's so many things you can do with this. You can make a nice gradient, and so here we have our very simple shape that we created from a star, and that is representing a tick in a kind of a star shape, right? So we're trying to be unique as possible, but done it in a nice and simple way. And what I'll do now straight away is actually the color. So it has to work in black and white, so I just fill it with the darkest grey. You can see that really nice, and then I'll paste it over. And we're thinking of color. So Smashing Magazine, they had a really good article on emotions. So I'm just going to give this a light blue color for a bit of energy. There we go. We've got a nice light blue. There's also another light blue, which I think I'm going to go further, have that nice vibrant blue, maybe 400. Yeah, could be between 3 and 4. Let's say, well, you're going for your dreams. This is basically what this habit app is. So we can go lighter blue, but again, don't get too picky on it, don't be too perfect on it. And then we want to choose the font, and I already know which font I want. There's actually two choices, so I'm going to go with a lowercase h, because there's this thing about starting with a lowercase is a bit more friendly. So again, let's just bring this up, and we're going to make that, is it semi-bold? So I'm starting with Inter. So I think Inter is a really nice, clean, minimal choice. I've just reduced the letter spacing because it's a big size. So if we zoom out, it's really clean. Another one that I'm going to propose that I use quite a lot is called Space Grotesque. That is a really nice one. So you could be deciding which font you like, but out of these two, I'm thinking of going for Inter because it's minimal, clean. So great. So we've basically got our font, our color, our shape, and now let's create components and test it out, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get this one and bring it over here. And let's say this, we want to, okay, so 56 height is actually along the 8-point grid, so we can play around. So let's just let's have a think. So what we can actually do is we can go to habits, and we're going to just minimize that. Okay, take it out of that group. So now I'm going to do Shift A. So let's put it into an auto layout. The distance between, let's say 8. Now usually I'll do vertically in the middle. Maybe vertically in the middle is fine. Should I reduce the spacing between? Let's see, so make it 0, so it's right to the edge. And I think that's fine because there's quite a space here. So let's see how this works. So if I then do, I'm just thinking now. So now I can go Option Command K. I'm creating a component. We're going to just say logo. And we are then going to create different sizes. So I unlock the variants, and well, one thing we can do is we can then say, okay, we want the white version or the light version. So we can just say this is the light. And then if we add another variant, we can actually, what we can do is, so we got default and we got light. Let's say we also, just trying to think other versions we can do. We can also say, okay, we don't want the text, we just want the icon. So here we just say the icon. What we can do is we can say, we can also say add a new property. We can then say size. So what we would then do is we create a new one, and this one we're going to then say this is, so this is default. We're going to then go small. We can go small. Oop, wrong one there. So small. So that is a font size that's pretty big. So let's say small is around 32 pixels. We have to watch out for the letter spacing now because it's going smaller. So let's say 0. Or actually, let's say -2. This one as well, we can make that small. So that is 32. We're also going to say 32 line height. This one, can we say 32 as well? Nice. So now we got the small, and then if we create another one, we're going to then say extra small. So this font size is 32. Now we're going to go down to, let's say, 24, and get rid of that letter spacing because it's smaller now. This one, let's say 24 as well. Nice. So we got extra small, and then now we're reaching up to 20 minutes. Wow. So I think this is pretty good. And yeah, I think that is good enough for now. So you can see we use some simple keywords representing the visualizing the brand. We want a star and a tick, and then the shape is a star, and we're then trying to combine a tick and a star, which we then went over this nice little technique, and the font we're going with is Inter, but that one is Space Grotesque. And then the color we're going with a light blue, and we've made it into components, and we're just testing out different sizes. And then one last thing to do, well actually no, I think that's fine. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next video. All right.